The term VRM stands for Voltage Regulation Module, and the purpose is to take the 12 volts coming into the motherboard and stepping that down to the 1 to 1.5 volts required for your CPU. So let's take a look at the process by which they function.
In essence, VRMs are a collection of buck converters which take the power from the motherboard and step it down to the correct voltage for the CPU. So a good place to start is taking a look at how a buck converter works. In our circuit, we have an input and an output. As we don't need our converter to be isolated, we can connect the negative wires of the input and output together. In this configuration, there are three ways we can connect our inductor. We can connect it across the input or across the output, but we can also connect it between the input and output. Let's now consider how we can build a converter. We need to initially connect our inductor between the input and output. During this stage, the inductor will charge up with current as it tries to stop the current rising. During this stage, the voltage will rise following the leading edge of a sinusoidal curve. Once the inductor charges up, we can disconnect it from the input and connect it to the output. This way, the inductor tries to maintain that current and forces voltage from the negative to the positive. During this stage, the current across the inductor decreases, as does the voltage, which this time follows the falling edge of a sinusoidal waveform. If we repeat this process over and over again very quickly, you can see how we can quite easily get a lower voltage at the output. As long as we don't let the current hit zero, the average voltage will follow a more or less sinusoidal waveform with an average voltage given by the formula Vout equals Vin times time on divided by time off, where time on is the time the inductor is connected to the input and time off is the time the inductor is disconnected from the input. Now the only thing left is to work out how to turn it on and off. Luckily, we can do this with two electronic switches by connecting one between the input and the inductor and the other between the negative and the inductor. For these two switches, we can use MOSFETs. However, we can actually simplify this even further by using a diode in place of the second switch, as it only needs to block current in one direction. While the MOSFET is on, the diode will become reverse biased and it will block current flow. However, when the MOSFET is off, the inductor will draw power through the diode, making it forward biased and allowing current to flow. A buck converter is a single phase of a VRM, but if you've ever looked at a motherboard, you'll see there's usually more than one VRM, and that's because more phases equals more smooth current and voltage. More stable voltage means a more stable CPU, and that means you can achieve higher clock speeds. While buck converters don't actually output a sine wave, they output a more sinusoidal output. I've modelled this in Desmos using actual sine waves because I'm lazy, but you can see with 16 sine waves you get a fairly consistent voltage, which is marked by the red line.
This is what motherboards mean when they say 16, 20 or even 24 phase VRMs. It's the number of different buck converters which are working together to give you the best possible experience. That's about it. This was quite a short video today, but I hope you guys found it interesting. I'm going to make some more shorter videos like this, so let me know if you like it, and I will see you guys soon. Oh, please subscribe as well.